A story of unexpected wisdom. Part 1. The burden of age. The sun beat down mercilessly on Elias's wrinkled face as he sat on the weathered porch. His calloused hands, once strong enough to wrestle an ox, now lay limp on his lap. Age had crept in like a silent thief, stealing his strength and leaving behind a body that ached with every sunrise. Elias gazed across the fields he had toiled on for decades. Lush green rows of corn swayed in the gentle breeze, a testament to his years of hard work. Now, however, the weight of the farm felt overwhelming. His son, Thomas, a sturdy man with the tireless energy of youth, managed most of the work. Yet, a shadow of doubt lingered in Elias's heart. Am I a burden now? He whispered to the wind, the question heavy on his tongue. Part 2. A seed of discontent. Days turned into weeks, and the unease in Elias grew. He caught Thomas stealing glances at him, a flicker of something akin to frustration crossing the younger man's face. Elias tried to help with small tasks, but his clumsy attempts only caused more work. The silence between them stretched, thick and suffocating. One evening, as they sat by the crackling fireplace, Thomas spoke, his voice laced with tension. "Father, perhaps it's time you rested more. Let me take care of everything." Elias felt a pang in his chest. "But There's no but, Father. You've worked hard all your life." "Now, it's my turn," Thomas interrupted, his tone firm but laced with a hint of impatience. Elias retreated to his room, a knot of worry tightening in his stomach. Sleep evaded him that night. The once proud farmer felt like a wilted flower, forgotten in a corner. Part 3. The Coffin and the Cliff. The next morning, Elias woke to a loud hammering noise. He peered out the window and saw Thomas constructing a large wooden box. Fear, cold and sharp, pricked at his heart. By noon, Thomas dragged the finished coffin, heavy and imposing, to the porch. "Father," Thomas said, his voice strained, "get in." Elias, his mind swirling, climbed into the coffin. Thomas closed the lid, plunging him into darkness. Panic clawed at his throat, but years of stoicism kept him from screaming. He braced himself as the coffin was lifted and carried away. The journey was rough, the bumps jarring his body. Finally, the movement stopped. Elias heard labored breathing and then a heavy thud. A sliver of light peeked into the coffin, and he realized they were at the edge of a steep cliff. Part 4. A change in perspective. A light tapping came from the lid, sending shivers down Elias's spine. Thomas opened the coffin, revealing a calm and collected Elias staring back at him. "What is it?" Thomas asked, his voice laced with confusion. "Throw me over, son, if you must," Elias said, his voice surprisingly steady. "But, before you do, might I make a suggestion?" Thomas remained silent, stunned by his father's composure. Part 5. The Hidden Value. Elias continued, his voice filled with quiet wisdom. "This farm, it's not just about the harvest, Thomas. It's about the lessons learned, the sweat that binds us to the land. You see those children playing by the stream? One day, they may be the ones tilling this soil." He paused, his gaze distant. "This land holds stories, Thomas. Stories of struggle and resilience, of laughter and tears. And this coffin?" Elias gestured to the wooden box. "It's not just a receptacle for death, but a symbol of what we leave behind." Thomas's face softened. He saw his father not as a burden, but as a wellspring of knowledge and experience. Shame washed over him as he realized how blinded he had been by his own worries. Just because someone is older and less physically capable doesn't diminish their value. Their experience and accumulated wisdom can be invaluable. This story reminds us to appreciate the guidance and perspective that older generations can offer. Share this story with your friends and family so that instead of burdens we look towards a source of inspiration for us.